Guilty plea, unlike any the judge has ever seen, as one of the men convicted in the Christian Newsom murders has his sentence now reduced.
George Thomas had been facing 2 life sentences plus 25 years for his role in the kidnapping, rapes, and murders of Shannon Christian and Chris Newsom, a shocking case that we have been following for you since January of 2007.
Now, along with Thomas, 3 other people had been convicted, but prosecutors and parents of the victims had a 5th person in mind, Eric Boyd, who had been serving time in connection with this case as an accessory after the fact, but he had never stood accused in direct connection with the killings.
Then prosecutors filed state charges, and George Thomas agreed to take the stand, testifying that Boyd pulled the trigger and killed Chris Newsom. The trial ending with Boyd convicted on 36 counts.
Now, the next turn in this case, the state keeping up its end of the bargain, the deal to reduce Thomas's prison time. WATE 6 on Your Side reporter Gabriella Pagan joins us now with our top story here at 5. And Gabby, you were in the courtroom, so walk us through the process today.
Yeah, guys, court began at 1:15 this afternoon, and the judge spent nearly an hour going over Thomas's plea count by count, asking for reassurance multiple times that Thomas was fully aware of what he is agreeing to. Thomas sat in the witness stand, appearing stoic, assuring the judge he had more than understanding of each and every count. Now, that state deal for Thomas's testimony against Boyd comes in exchange for 2 25-year terms with the opportunity to reduce that sentence up to 15% based on good behavior during incarceration. In the end, the judge agreed, and Thomas's first-degree murder charge would be reduced to second-degree murder, and the aggravated rape charge then becomes an aggravated assault. Before court was recessed, the judge offered the families a moment to give a victim impact statement. Only the Newsoms did.
I just wanted to thank Thomas for having the courage to do what he did. And I don't believe you were ever a violent criminal.
I don't think he really was guilty of all those things. He most of the time just sat there and watched TV while everything else was going on. Of course, you know, he is guilty because he was there.
Now, Mary went on to say George Thomas did a favor for them that he did not have to, and that Thomas had a lot of guts to come out and face Boyd. Mary's husband, Hugh Newsom, says he is not sure Thomas had enough nerve to act that night in fear he would be killed. We also spoke with Shannon Christian's father, Gary. He strongly believes Thomas did not tell the whole truth, that he could have saved Shannon's life 1,000 times.
I was all for reducing his sentence. But doing him any favors, no. Thanking him for what he did, no. He didn't do that for my daughter. He did that for himself.
Now, as for that reduced sentence, it is not what he expected in the beginning. He feels that some laws need to be changed so a family would not face sort of a decision like that. They all agree they had to do what they had to do to get Eric Boyd, that he killed Chris, and they knew that for sure. I asked Christian if he felt justice was served. In the end, he said no. Bo and Kristen, this is something that both families have been dealing with and battling for more than a decade.
I don't doubt that for a second, Gabriella. Thank you very much for all of that.
Now, if Thomas had not testified against Eric Boyd, we want to point out Boyd would have been out of jail in just a matter of years.
Yeah. All right.